Inniswell Ministries International presents Stories for My Grandson. Hi, grandson. Grandma has a story for you. Are you ready? Let's go. Well, grandson, way back in the Bible days when Jesus still walked the earth, he told the people a story, and we call them parables. Now, he told them the parable of the talents. And so one day, a businessman went out of town for business. Now, he was gone for quite a while. And so he entrusted one of his employees with 5 talents. And we'll say that's kind of like money. We won't say how much money, but we'll say it's kind of like money, 5 talents. And he trusted another employee with 2 talents. And the last employee he trusted with 1 talent. And so the businessman is away for a while and he comes back and he goes to the first employee who had 5 talents and he said, what'd you do with those talents that I gave you? And he's like, sir, I invested them and now I have 10 talents. And he gave the 10 talents to him. And he said, guess what? Well done, my good and faithful servant, because you were faithful with a little, I'm going to give you more. So I'm going to bless you with more. And so he goes to the next employee and he says, how'd you do? What'd you do with the talents? And he says, sir, I invested the talents and now I have 4 talents, because remember, he started with 2. And he said, well done, my good and faithful servant, because you were faithful with a little, I'm going to bless you with more. And so he comes to the last servant, the last employee. And he says, well, how'd you do? And he says, well, I know that you are a hard man and that you reap where you don't sow, which means kind of like you get money even where you don't put in any effort. Like wherever you can get money, you get money, even if you don't put any effort in it. And so pretty much he's like, I know you're a hard man and I know that you're about your money. And so he said, all right, well, how'd you do with it? And he says, well, I put it in the ground. I like buried it. And the employer's like, what? He's like, you could have put it in the bank. I could have got interest on that. And he's like, here, like, here's your filthy, dirty money that I just dug out the ground. And he's like, you wicked servant. Like, to the dungeons you go. So, grandson, we equate those talents with our gifts and talents. And so, instead of looking at it as money, I always look at it as talents. And so, God has put stuff in us, and He's put so many gifts and talents in us, and we don't even use them for Him. Right? Like he's given us so much and we don't use them for him. And that's why he gave them to us. And so at your age, grandson, your job is to be in school and learn. And so you need to learn to the best of your abilities so that later on you can serve him with all the knowledge that you have. You can serve God with it. So and later as you grow, you're going to do other things. You're going to find that you have other gifts and talents. Like you have an ear for music, so there might be some musical instruments or some singing in there. And if that's the case, then you need to use your gifts and talents for him. Um, as you grow, you may find that because you're a good learner, you might be a good speaker. And so you might be speaking to other kids about him. But that's in time. You're still a little one yet. You don't have to worry about that stuff yet. Your job is to do good in school right now. Okay? So you bring grandma home some A's or S's. I don't know what they do at your age. All right, grandson, guess what? Grandma loves you, but Jesus loves you more. And join us again next time when In His Will Ministries International presents Stories for My Grandson. Until then, bye.